is what you came for. Lightning strikes.
1, 2, 3, 4.
The best radio station in the world. Is right
Kwara
here,
FM.
right now.
Wait a minute.
The coolest rhythm and the hottest dance. R&B and hip-hop, one after another. Hear this.
The best variety from the 90s, 2Ks and now.
Blazing.
Are you ready?
The coolest station online.
Yeah, that's us. Kwara FM 95.1.
Over 50 years since Nigeria's independence, the country is yet to have a female governor.
We have entertainment, TV and channels, so why not one for women that are more than half the world population, doing so much for survival of the world?
We teach girls shame. Close your legs, cover yourself. We make them feel as though by being born female, they're already guilty of something.
Saying a woman should only be seen and not to be heard is violence against women.
I'm a woman with a heart.
Women are a vital part of our existence, the mothers of our children, our support. Hence, they deserve to live full lives, 100%.
Tune in every Tuesday by 11 a.m.
on Royal FM 95.1 for the program 100% Women, 100% Women, celebrating women.
I'm a woman with
Good morning. How are you doing this beautiful Tuesday morning? This is 100% Woman on Real FM 95.1 Ilorin. I am Temitope Oluleye. As you know, 100% Woman is a program that aims to give women a voice. Today we're going to be having a very, very interesting discussion. And we're going to be really focusing on a very hot topic. And the topic is this. Is feminism going too far? What are your thoughts? Do you think it's going to the extreme? Do you think feminists are really taking their own ideologies a bit too far and is getting too far-fetched? What are your thoughts? That's what we're going to be discussing this morning on the program. I have in the studio with me two special guests who I'll be introducing them to you very, very soon. But before that, let's go for this quick break.
Over 50 years since Nigeria's independence, the country is yet to have a female governor.
We have entertainment, TV and channels, so why not one for women that are more than half the world population, doing so much for survival of the world?
We teach girls shame. Close your legs, cover yourself. We make them feel as though by being born female, they're already guilty of something.
Saying a woman should only be seen and not to be heard is violence against women.
I'm a woman with a heart.
Women are a vital part of our existence, the mothers of our children, our support. Hence, they deserve to live full lives, 100%.
Tune in every Tuesday by 11 a.m.
on Royal FM 95.1 for the program 100% Women, 100% Women, celebrating women.
I'm a woman with
Welcome back to 100% Woman on Real FM 95.1 Ilorin. All right, I said earlier that I have two guests in the studio with me this morning. First up is Dayo Adeyemi. He is a colleague, the host of Talkback, the host of Soul Lounge, the host of News Rendezvous, and he is also a compare, amongst so many other things, too numerous to mention. I want to welcome you, Dayo, into the studio. You're not, someone that I should be introducing, but you're already well known. But say hello to everyone.
Thank you very much, Timmy. It's so good to be here. I think our relationship, on radio, working together as colleagues, that dates back to a few years. Well, we used to, co-host Talkback. So I miss those great days, and it feels absolutely refreshing to be back and then sit in the studio and have these good discussions with you.
And how do you feel being on a woman's show?
Nothing. I feel very indifferent because it's just about conversations that we should be having, from time to time. So if it affects, a woman, it affects us. If it affects the society. So I think there's nothing different. A woman can, sit and have a conversation, that's just about men. So the same way we can have conversations. At least we sit in a circle of men, to discuss women. So why not sit on a program and discuss their issues?
Wow, well said. Yes, it's all about keeping the conversations going. All right, I also have a woman in the studio with me this morning. Her name is Yemisi Ajeojo, right?
Yes.
Because you had corrected me earlier. All right, she is an economic advisory trainee in the KP3 office at the government house here, the Kwara State government house. Also, she owns a social enterprise called Thrift Africa, providing low-interest loans and free business support to small business owners, especially students. And she also facilitates a WhatsApp group with over 200 young people from different parts of Africa where they learn, network, and support each other in various ventures. All right, you're welcome, Yemisi.
Thank you so much.
To the program this morning. We're going to be having a very, very interesting discussion about feminism. The mere, how would I say it now? The mere thought, or the mere just hearing that word feminism, for some people, it just connotes this very negative theme. And we'll get into that in just a minute. Why is that so? Anyways, let me get back or go back to a notable feminist in quote. And she has been very, very outspoken about feminism, her views on being a feminist, and why we all should be feminists, actually. She gave a very, very popular TED Talk where she just shared her own ideals, own different thoughts on what feminism is and why people should embrace feminism the more. So I'm talking about Chimamanda Adichie, the very, very well-celebrated author, very well-celebrated, renowned, and very talented writer indeed, whose work is very respected all over the world. Now, she made a couple of comments about her own views. She had an interview with Hillary Clinton. There was a time she had an interview with Hillary Clinton, and she was saying that she got angry because Hillary Clinton, in a Twitter biography, made mention that she was a wife and a mom before any other thing, any other position that she held, that when she was putting up her Twitter bio. Now, she said she just was a little bit angry about that, and she just wanted to ask Hillary, why is it? Why did you decide to put wife, mom, since you're more than just that? Did you have to put that to get validation as a woman? Why did you have to do this? And Hillary Clinton said, well, as a result of that, she was going to do something about it, adjust her Twitter profile. But anyway, just that, of course, that interview, the there was a lot of uproar. There was a lot of controversy about that, and people were just going back and forth about why would she, what was the big deal about a woman saying she's a wife or her mom on a social media account? Is there anything, there's nothing bad in it. And there are so many, there's a lot of going back and forth on social media, online, a lot of people saying a lot of things. Let me ask you first, Yemisi, were you aware about this when it happened?
Yeah.
What were your thoughts, first of all? What did you think about it? Do you think is there anything wrong in a woman, not just a woman, a very powerful woman at that, saying she's a wife or a mom? Do you think it's in a way she was trying to validate the fact that as a woman she is that? Do you think is there anything wrong in that?
I think that a woman should be able to define herself by whatever she chooses to. So if someone who has studied in the top universities in the world and have taken on several very significant and influential positions choose to be described first as a wife and a mom before anything else, I think that's her personal choice. But to be very honest, I think I am with Chimamanda on this. And what she said was she was a bit uncomfortable with the fact that Hillary Clinton has chosen to define herself first by a wife and a mom on Twitter before other things. And to be honest, I would feel uncomfortable as well if I go on social media and someone that I look up to and has broken a lot of glass ceilings and has risen above the norm in a place that is mainly full, in a position that is mainly taken by men, would choose to describe herself first as a mom and a wife before anything else. I'll feel uncomfortable with that because a lot of young girls in different culture and society have been told to that being a wife and a mom is the greatest position that you can attain, and so all their lives a lot of the activities revolve around wanting to be a great wife and a great mom and all of this. So to see a woman who has really risen above the norm and has done exceptional things in a male-dominated industry would be like, okay, so in spite of everything else that I do, if I'm not a wife or a mom, it doesn't count or it's not as important. And so I think a lot of times women in different groups and in different societies are made to fit into a box in order to be liked and to be accepted. And to a large extent, I would think that Hillary Clinton's bio was moving towards this, trying to appeal to a larger audience who would prefer, who are comfortable with a woman being a mom and a wife before anything else, such as president of one of the greatest countries in the world. So yes, as much as I think a woman has a right to define herself by whatever she wants to, I would feel very uncomfortable. I would not really be, I don't know, I wouldn't feel comfortable with someone such as she defining herself first by a wife and a mom on social media, especially when her partner did not define himself first by a dad and a husband.
Anyways, before I listen to Dayo's view on this question, let's go for this commercial break. I'll be right back.
Yaya, na kusa birin da ka aike ni sayo.
Yawwa Liti, je ka siyo min katin naira 100 da ragowar canjin kaji zan sa a sabon layi na MTN.
To ai yaya na riga na sha lemuwar canjin fa.
Haba Liti, kana nufin ka kashe min naira 800 na garabasa ta lemo?
To ai ya, na canjin 100 ne. Me kawo magana 800.
Baka san in na sa katin naira 100 a sabon layi na MTN zan samu garabasar naira 800 na kira ba? Ga kuma datar yin WhatsApp duk sati kyauta? Duk wannan kalamu shi a cikin ka ba? Bari ka ga yadda zan yi da kai yanzu nan. Tabbas wannan garabasa ce ga sababbin kwastomomin MTN. Ku sayi sabon layin ku na MTN ku saka katin naira 100. Nan take za ku samu garabasar kuɗin kira har na naira 800 domin yin kira da shiga yanar gizo. Ba a nan ta tsaya ba, MTN za ta ba ku damar amfani da WhatsApp don tattaunawa, kallo da aika saƙon kowane irin hoto. Maza ku yi azamar shiga ayarin masu amfani da layukan MTN domin dacewa da wannan garabasar ta yamfu.
All right, welcome back to 100% Woman, where we're having a very, very interesting discussion about feminism. And the question is feminism going too far? And I'm also going to be we're going to be talking about Eunice Atway today. She is a presidential aspirant for the upcoming election. She's actually contesting for presidency in 2019. And she had a lot of things to say, too, about feminism. We'll be getting to that in a few minutes. But, Dayo, what are your thoughts? Is it really a big deal when it comes to a woman such as that, a woman of power like Hillary Clinton? Putting herself out there and saying, "Okay, I'm a wife, I'm a mom," and then on her Twitter account.
All right. First up, I think over the years we are gradually losing the focus, of what feminism is all about. So I think we should, go a little back into history in the 19th and the 20th century. What feminism is all about. It first came, in France and in the Netherlands in 1872, and then it got to the UK and got to the US in 1910. Now these were, campaigns. These were people who campaigned for, equality, who campaigned for, equal education, who campaigned for, that liberation, so to say, for women. So I think over the years we have seen, different, wave of feminism come up. I think we have 3 or 4 of them, as we speak. But the whole idea is, for women to see themselves as, okay, I'm important, I'm good, I'm a human being, I should be, given that same respect as well. I should be, dealt with respect and all. And then we now have, the modern, day civilization and all. And I think we are losing focus of what feminism is all about. So going to what Hillary Clinton, said and how she described herself, I don't think there is a problem with Hillary saying she's a mother and then she's a wife, because what would you have her, address herself as? A woman first? Obviously, everybody knows that she's a woman. Or you wanted to say, oh, I'm a graduate. Because before you run, for certain positions like that, you should have certain requirements, which I feel she has met. So it's just very normal for her to say, I'm a wife, I'm a woman, I'm a mother, and then I am a wife, because at that time there would be social issues that would affect, or that's affecting women, children and girls as well. So in a way, she's identifying herself with women, excuse me, with women with kids, with women who are single, with mothers, some of the issues that they go through. She's, sharing the same thing. So there is no problem. There's no big deal in her saying, well, she's a mother first and then a wife before every other thing. So I think there's nothing different at all. Even if she said, do you expect to say I'm a feminist or I'm a believer in equality? Of course not. But she's decided to say she's a woman and a mother. So
you think Chimamanda, with that, it's inappropriate for her to say something like that? It's not necessary.
Absolutely. I don't think it's necessary. We all have our views, we have our opinions and all. And Chimamanda Adichie is someone that I respect so much. I have so much admiration for her. But, taking, that swipe at her, Hillary, is not what I'm comfortable with. If you call Chimamanda, say, hey, hi, Chima, introduce yourself. How do you think she's going to introduce herself? I want to ask, and I wait for that day when I have the opportunity to sit with her and say, hey, please introduce yourself. I wonder what she's going to say first.
Now, she also said something recently. I'm talking about Chimamanda. She said something about men opening doors for women. And she said that it's not necessary. And let me just say what she said. She said, I think just like holding the door shouldn't be gender, because we should open the door for everyone. I hold the door for men and women. I think the idea of sort of holding the door for women because she's a woman, I have trouble with that. I'm quite happy for people to hold the door for me. I hope they're not doing for the sort of idea of chivalry. Because chivalry is the idea of women are somehow weak and need protecting, but we know that there are many women who are stronger than men. What are your thoughts about that, Dayo? Let me ask Dayo.
We used to live in an era where it was more about strength. It was more about the physical ability of a person. Now, at that time, it was more like a man was seen to be a stronger person because of the physical structure and all. But I think in the world that we live in now, it's far beyond the physical strength of a person. It now has to do with the intellectual capacity. It has to do with intelligence. It has to do with character. It has to do with somebody who is more creative to get into certain positions. So I think it's no longer a fight of who is stronger, who is weaker at this point. So a man opening the door for a woman probably might just see it as let me just treat her nice. That's all.
So you think she's taken a bit too far? Yemisi, your thoughts?
I think opening the door is an act of kindness and not just chivalry. Because I listened to the interview she had with Trevor Noah, and she explained how she opens the door for people, both men and women. And I think what she said was, I hope that people opening the door for women is not just because they see women as weak, because I think personally we should show kindness to people irrespective of gender or background. And I think it's cute when my male friends open the door for me. I don't expect it of them. It's not an expectation. But I think it's cute when they do so. And I do open the door for people irrespective of whether they're male or female. If I see an older woman carrying a bag, I reach out to help her out of respect and kindness, not because I think she is weak. So I think I do not agree with the aspect of opening the door as a sign of seeing a woman as weak, because I just see it as kindness and in most cases, respect.
Right. All right, let's go on to Eunice Atuejide. Like I said earlier, she is contesting for presidency next year, and on the platform of NIP, National Interest Party. And she said some things, and it really caused a lot of controversy on Twitter. She said, I'm not a feminist. I actually hate it when people call me feminist because that word means too many things, many of which I don't like. Everyone should have a fair chance. Be yourself and be treated right. Being yourself. So, guys, let's caption this picture. Anyway, she was referring to a picture on her Twitter handle. Now, do you think feminism, what are your thoughts when you hear the word feminism? First of all, what comes to your mind? Yemisi?
The first thing that comes to my mind is equality of sexes and the ability for women to have equal opportunities with men irrespective of gender, and just being able to have the same opportunities with men basically most of the time. Although for some people feminism can take on different forms. But when I hear feminism, the first thing that comes to my mind is equality and equal opportunities for both men and women.
Now, it seems like feminism, when you hear that word, it also has this negative connotation to it as well. Where do you think that negative connotation is coming from? Let me ask Dayo. First of all, when you hear that word, what strikes you? Do you see it as a positive word, or do you see it as a negative word? What comes to your mind?
I don't necessarily. I can't say I see it as a totally negative word, but I'm very uncomfortable with the word, feminism.
Why are you uncomfortable?
Because the way certain people have interpreted, the word feminism. Now, if we go back, and that's why we shared a bit of history in the 19th and the 20th century, at that time in the 19th century, it was more about fight for opportunities, fight for right to own property in the UK, fight for freedom in the marriage and all. It's all good. Those ideas were all very, very good, for feminism. But what we have I think lately, because of civilization, is far from what we were made to understand about feminism. And then we now have, it's more like, battle of the sexes right now, because you say you want equal opportunities as a man. Well, I feel as a human being, as a normal person, I feel, well, everyone should be treated equally. Everyone should have, fair chance at anything. But I think it has to do with a self-ability. It has to do with what you have to do. If you feel, well, I'm not getting so much, why don't you work and improve yourself? Why don't you just be better at what you do so you can actually level up? So I think that when they mention feminism and then they tag it, because of some of the campaigners and the conveners, they try to make, young women fit into their own ideologies, which apparently is not, you're denying the person the ability to be themselves and then realize what they are. Some side of feminism will tell you that, well, they try to say, okay, this is what it should be, and then give it that choice, give it that power of choice. But lately, the campaigns, what we hear, I think it's just different from what the real thing should be about. Equal opportunities, equality, but is a battle of sexes right now that we have.
Now, one of the major fundamental things about feminism is they say that there should be equality among sexes. Do you think that there should be an equality, when it comes to a man and woman, they should be considered as equal?
Yeah, before God, every man is equal. Mm-hmm. But you see that even if we have to go through the path of religion now, which I'm sorry to bring in, but when God was, giving the responsibilities, to, the first man and the woman, he gave them certain assignments and different assignment, but the assignments, with the same end goal, he saw them to be equal. But he told the woman, says, submit. He told the man, take care, love. You cannot love without first you submitting to the person to love the person. And then at the same time, you cannot submit if you do not love the person as well. So God understood what he was doing by saying, this and this and this. But the way civilization is coming to aid, the way people have interpreted things, they feel that there can be that equality. And I believe personally that we cannot achieve total equality because we can't have it. There are women who are more intelligent than men. There are some men who are more intelligent than women. There are women in positions, even though the percentage that we have is very, very small compared, to globally, not even in Nigeria alone. Globally, the positions women take is not as much as, the positions that men, occupy in the society. So I feel it's just it has to do with your personal abilities to go for those things, but societal values as well, culture. In certain parts of the world, people see it as you shouldn't do some of these things, which I feel is what feminism should address and has been addressing. Okay. But for you to now say, well, equal thing, you must do this. Now let me ask you a question. Now, if we say that equality and all women should be treated right, yes, it is good. Now, if any man, does anything that is societally wrong to a woman, then the place of justice comes in. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. Now, if we do all of these things, fight for all this equality and all. Now, during wars, they tell you don't hurt a woman, don't do this. Then, if you fight for equality, then why can't they say okay, hurt the woman? But there's still a part of the society that respects women, that gives them that that space for them to just be who they want to be, who they can be. So they still respect women in so many areas.
I want to hear your thoughts, Yemisi.
Okay, so I believe in equality, but equality does not mean sameness. So I believe that we are equal before God. And when he created men, and we're going through religion now, in Genesis chapter 1, it says that God created men and women in his own likeness. And so men and women are reflect different attributes of God. They represent different sides of God. It does not mean that one aspect is greater than the other. It means that these two coming together just symbolizes the nature of God to the world and to mankind. One thing I've come to understand for myself is a lot of times how people interpret ideology is based on their experience, their culture, and their background. So when I was studying in the UK and I used to read feminist posts on social media, I would be like, these people are overdoing it. Like, it really cannot be that deep. But when I returned to Nigeria, I was like, these people are not doing enough. I mean, I don't feel like I'm in that place where I can comfortably call myself a feminist. Although a lot of times when I have conversations conversations with people, they just say, "Oh, you have feminist values," but I personally, I don't think I'll be comfortable referring to myself as a feminist. However, there are lots of things that I think do not do justice to women in our society. Absolutely. And a lot of times when women who feel comfortable calling themselves feminists come out to speak against these things, they talk through the lens of this anger and this pain and through the bitterness of what they have experienced. One of the problems for me that I personally have with feminists on social media is their inability to communicate with people who do not agree with them or who are not exactly on the same standpoint. And so sometimes people ask questions just to understand, oh, why do you believe in this, or why did you say this, or why are you doing this? And it just comes like, let's fight, battle of the sexes.
But you know, the thing is, because you were talking from a perspective of being a Christian now, and also Dayo as well. But at the same time, there's so many religions in the world, and so when it comes to defining equality, we can't really just focus on just the Christian's perspective alone. Yeah. So, and also has a huge role to play in the way a lot of people interpret what equality should be. True. So, and even makes it much more complicated as well. Yeah. So, what do you think should be the basis of being able to define equality? Regardless of religion now, how can we find that common ground? Okay, this is what is fair, regardless of religion, regardless of anybody's principles or standpoint, being on a very plain, fair level, whereas religion doesn't come to play. Definitely. Because if you hammer on religion alone when it comes to defining equality, then it's biased. Yeah. So how do you think the world can find that level playing ground where equality can be defined with fairness? Okay, I think the first thing to, personally, irrespective of religion, is equality does not mean sameness. So I can have a cup that is five that can fit in 5 liters of water, and a bowl that can fit in 5 liters of water. The cup and the bowl are equal, but they are not the same. So that's the way I like to think about it. And so there are functions that both the cup and the bowl can function. There are things that both the cup and the bowl can do, and there are things that both the cup and there are things that the bowl can do that the cup may not be able to do, or is not designed to do. And so that's the way that I like to think about it. So in a society such as Nigeria, I would define equality as between both sexes as being given the same level of respect and opportunities there are. And so I think for me, for instance, I really like work, and sometimes it's very difficult for people to understand why a woman should love work the way that. So when it comes to work, I can give my whole day to it, whatever, and I feel very energized for it. I'm not bored, I'm not tired, I'm not thinking, oh, I'm a woman, I'm supposed to be doing less or whatever. But for some other people, for some other women, they would rather not. I think it's just really giving people the respect and opportunities that they deserve based on their competences, irrespective of their gender. Now, you were saying that when you were based in the UK, when you used to read a lot of feminist, maybe manifestos or books, you said that you felt a bit uncomfortable with what was in there. But when you got back to the country, to Nigeria, you were saying, oh my gosh, there's a lot more that needs to be done. What were those things that you saw that made you realize, oh my gosh, something needs to be done about this here in this country?
I think the first thing is the way that we raise our girl child I think is very different from the way that we raise our boy child. So I feel like girls that are raised in Nigeria are usually less confident than the boys, because the boys are put out there more, so they're expected to be more streetwise, to take more risks, to be more outspoken. Why the definition of a virtuous Nigerian woman is one who is not very opinionated, who does not really speak up, and this is irrespective of religion, by the way, and someone who is just really, she doesn't speak her mind all the time, or she shouldn't really have an opinion that should be voiced. And I've experienced it time and time again, especially when you're having conversations with people and they're like, oh, you're a woman, you shouldn't say anything, or you shouldn't be thinking that. And I remember one time someone told me that, oh, irrespective of what you do, you would, like, it doesn't matter if you're not married. But I don't think that anyone would ever say that to boy, or the number of times that it would be said to a girl child would be nothing that something like that would be said to a girl child would be nothing close to the number of times that it will be said to a boy child, if at all anyone ever says that to a boy child. And so just even in the conversations that we choose to engage our girl child in, or the way that we choose to raise them, or the opportunities that we choose to expose them to is really not the same a lot of times. So I've been to places where there have been more men than women, and they're having a conversation about something, and the women are quiet throughout, and you're thinking, I'm sure you have an opinion, I'm sure you have something to say, but something about the way that she's been raised and the culture she's in has told her that you just keep quiet, you just be the one to listen and take it in. Some days ago, someone that I follow on Twitter talked about how a friend of hers was hosting an investment show for small businesses, and he invited men to come and speak at this event. And then a few weeks later, he was hosting a beauty pageant, and he invited her to come and talk to the girls about self-confidence and everything. And she was asking this person, why did you not invite me for the investment show? Because I am a venture capitalist. I invest in the technology firms that are in the technology industry. Why did you not see me fit to speak in an investment show, which was more serious, more business-like, but the one that is a beauty pageant, you think I am more fitting? And this just shows that there is difference in the ways that we think about the men and the women in our society.
Okay, let me ask that. Do you think there's really a difference with the way we raise boy children, the way we raise girl children here in Africa?
Yeah, there is a very huge difference, because I grew up in a home where I didn't have sisters, but I had other cousins come live with us, and then my parents would tell us to be protective of them, would tell them okay, you know what, you need to stay back at home. I think it's because of the social vices that we have. I know a woman, a petty trader, she has 4 boys and the only girl child there, and then she goes home. If she needs to send any of the children out to buy something, she sends the male child out there. Now there was there was a scenario that she related to me, and then we had this conversation. She was like, she sent her daughter to pick up, a clothes from the tailor. And then when the girl got there was a guy at the tailor shop. And then the guy was admiring this young lady. And there's like, your girl has grown. You're becoming a woman and all. And then the girl went home and then told her mom about it. So the woman went there and said, you know what? You don't speak to my daughter like that. You don't see her, beyond a sex symbol and all. There's more to her and all. So I think that it has to do with, reorientation. It has to do with more campaigns, not for the extreme side of feminism, but
what do you feel are the extreme sides, from your own opinion, your own view? What are the extreme sides of feminism?
The extreme side is where you feel that a man and if a man is you're more than important as well, and then you feel like you must do the same thing that a man is doing. Let's be logical. You cannot lift 50 liters of water. You cannot. As a woman, a woman cannot. There are still some women who can actually do. Now there are events, there are participation, there are sports, there are other associations that we now have women actively involved. Okay, for example, a male-dominated sport like wrestling, now we now have female wrestlers, we have female footballers, even though it's not as fascinating to see as just watch the guys play the game. So I think that there should be that toneness to the drum that these campaigners are beating in terms of equal pay. Yes, you should, but they should understand the place of competency, and that's where Yemisi said the place of competency, character building should be considered. We have women who are even before the right, before women are given the right to vote. We've had strong women in Nigeria. We've had a woman, this woman Amina, Amina, who ruled Zazal Kingdom. We've had Ebele, who was part of the Igala Kingdom. We've had Shaba in the north, but some of them actually were restricted by religion. region, majorly in the north. We've had, good women, we've had strong women, but at that time, they never showed, that if he gets 1,000 naira, I should get 1,000 naira. Well, you can say that in this modern time because of what? The pressure is more on, both sexes, the male and the female. So if you say we want, equal pay, we want, for example, take in Iceland, women earn more than men anywhere in any of the organizations there. Women earn more. So we cannot say we can't actually achieve that global equality. No.
All right. So if you want to call in, we just have, my gosh, time has gone. A few minutes to the end of the program. You can call in at 0810-850-1371, 0810-850-1371. What are your thoughts? Do you think feminism is going too far? It's going to the extreme. What are your thoughts? What are your opinions? 0810-850-1371. Let me move on to just talk about a little bit more about what Eunice Atuejide also said on Twitter. And some of the responses that she got. She also went on to say that to me, we need contributions and views from all sides, masculine and feminine, in designing the future Nigeria. It's neither a man's world nor a woman's world. It's our world. We all matter. We all have a lot to offer, and equal weight must be given to our views. Now, when you read this, it seems to me like something like a feminist would say, or probably not, because she is saying, well, it's neither a man's world nor a woman's world. So she's talking about equality among sexes, yet she's saying that she's not a feminist. What do you think is trying to happen? What do you think? Because it's confusing to me a little bit. But we have this call. Okay, we lost that call. 0810-850-1371. Yeah, see, what is she trying to say? It seems like she's contradicting herself there.
Okay. I'm not in her mind. So do
you have an idea? Can you help us a little bit?
I think...
So we have a call coming in. Just a minute. Fine. Hello? Yes, hello, good morning. What is your name? Okay. All right, please go ahead.
Okay. So I think it's the same thing as I would say something, and then someone would say, oh, that makes you a feminist, and I'll say, no, I don't feel comfortable being called a feminist.
But the thing is, the question that keeps popping up is, why is it that people are so uncomfortable with the word feminist or feminism? Okay, we lost that call again. Yeah. What is it about that word that makes, you were saying you're not comfortable with calling yourself that. Why is it? I'm going to ask Dayo too in a few minutes. Hello? Hello? Yes, what is your name? Where are you calling from?
Calling from Tanke.
Please go ahead.
Okay. What a nice topic. You guys have been doing so good so far.
Okay, thank you.
What I have to say is, the truth is we cannot have an equal system in Africa, not even in Africa alone, in other parts of the country too. We can have it all as female. The only thing we can agitate for is equity.
Okay.
Yes. That's my submission, and we should all agitate for equity wherever we find ourselves. I think that's just the basis. That's the only thing we need now, more especially in Africa. Because what a boy can do, a woman can do better. Yes, it's a good thing. It's something we need to put in the head of our ladies. But then we should teach them the basis. They should know the limits, and they should stand where they are supposed to stand. And that's my submission. Well done.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Just real quickly, why is there such this uncomfortable, I can't even come up with the word, just to feel this uneasiness when it comes to that word? Why is it?
It's just, it's because there are different variants to the ideology, and there are ways in which it has progressed over time. So a few years back, or a few centuries back, the feminism was about the right for a woman to own her own body and to do whatever she wants to the baby in her womb, and that's abortion. And just based on my own personal values, that's not something that I would want to explicitly identify with. And just the different, like, I would want to hold on to an ideology and say, yes, I believe in this in its wholeness. Not, oh, I believe in this part of it, but not this part of it. And so just because I cannot say, oh, I believe in feminism in its wholeness, and the fact that some of my values, ideals, are in line with feminist values, does not mean that I am a feminist. It just means that based on the things that I've believed in or the way that I've been raised. These are the things that this is how I would want to live or base my decisions on.
So there are some parts of feminism that you agree with, there's some that you don't agree with, so that means you can't call yourself something you don't totally agree with. Okay, Dayo, real quickly, because it's
I believe that I think it's just the extremism, to the ideologies, as we stated earlier, because I don't want my girl child. In as much as anyone who knows me will say that, excuse me, I respect ladies, I respect women, and then it's not like I see them as a weaker version of humanity, but you see that I've seen strong women, I've seen intelligent women, I've seen brilliant women. They are all over the place. So I think the value we should place in our girl child and in the world really is for you to just be the best that you can be. The sky shouldn't be your stopping point. Just keep motivating and inspiring the girls, and that's just what it is.
All right, my goodness, time has flown. Thank you so much. Yemisi, thank you so much for being here. Dayo as well, thank you so much for contribution. Yemisi, thank you so much for contribution. Really, really good stuff. All right, we have to go. Join me next week, Tuesday at 11 a.m. for another episode of 100% Woman. I am Temitope Oluleye. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Mayonnaise makes it better.
Look more fair.